Hey guys, Pwnobi here, bringing another Pokemon Narrated Wi-Fi battle. This one's going to be against BlameTruth, link in the description. You guys probably all know who he is, mostly known for Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff, but he also does Pokemon Narrated Wi-Fi battles, so make sure to check him out if you have not already. This is going to be an NU tier battle. I'm using the same team that we've been working on together the entire time. So, going to lead off with my Nidoqueen, just go for the Earth Power. Don't want to over-predict too early in the game, and he's going to opt to bring in a Sand Slash thinking that I'm physical. Unfortunately for him, that's not going to be the case, and he's going to take a hefty, at least a third probably from that Earth Power, so he's not going to want to stay in. I don't want to over-predict this early, so I'm just going to go for the safe Ice Beam in case he, I don't know, makes a bad play and wants to stay in and go for a super effective Stab Earthquake, but he'd be slower and probably get killed off from that damage. So I'm going to switch out on his Gardevoir into my Licky Licky. My game plan is to go for the Toxic, and if he tries to status me, which I was predicting, yeah, I'll be able to Heal Bell that off. So he's going to pass the Wish into his Sand Slash. I predict that, and just go for the Toxic, because I don't want to get continuous damage on this thing, since I know Sand Slash does not pack any recovery. And now, predicting the Stealth Rocks, I'm going to switch out into my Choice Specs Espeon, which is always good to get a free switch into your choiced Pokemon. So that's going to work out really well for me. And I'm going to predict the switch into his Gardevoir after all these after-turn effects, and just go for a Choice Specs Signal Beam, which is a pretty good play on my part, and it's going to do a hefty chunk since, like I said, I am Choice Specs. Unfortunately, because I didn't get the Stealth Rocks up of my own, it's not going to be a 2-hit KO, and even with Stealth Rocks, it would pretty much depend on max and min. So I don't want to risk it, just going to switch out to my Lights Out, and he's just going to go for a safe Thunder Wave, which is a good play to go on anything, although with the Espeon, the synchronized ability would paralyze him as well. So I think I go for Heal Bell on this upcoming turn. I don't remember. No, I'm going to double switch back into my Espeon. That was a smart play. I'm a genius. And I think he's going to over-predict me this time, and he's not going to want to go back into Gardevoir, so I'm just going to go for a Spec Psychic, which is the case, and it's going to easily OHKO this Sand Slash because it is physically bulky, not specially bulky, and yeah, Choice Specs for the win. Unfortunately for me, he does have a Pursuiter, and since he's a part Dark type, Psychic won't do anything to him because he does have immunity, so I'm forced to switch out, and he is going to be able to OHKO me with Pursuit. So I'm going to go back into my lead Nidoqueen, predict him to switch out, and just choose this to set up my Stealth Rocks, knowing that his Sand Slash, his Rapid Spinner, is now gone, and I definitely want to be able to get the continuous damage on his Pokemon, especially that Typhlosion, since it is going to take 25% on coming into the entry hazards. So I'm going to go to my Lights Out, once again, knowing I can Toxic, and if he does anything to me, I can just Heal Bell off, although I am already paralyzed. And since his Sand Slash is already gone, I don't think he has anything immune to Toxic Poison. So I am just going to go for the Toxic, and unfortunately, I'm going to get paralyzed on that turn, which really sucks. He's just going to receive the Wish, which didn't really matter because he was at full, so it's just going to negate the damage from Stealth Rocks. So now I'm going to switch out to the TheOPNews, a Pelipper, because I resist both of his stab attacks. Flying resists fighting, water resists water. He's just going to go for a safe Waterfall, and it's not going to do too much damage. Since I do pack a super effective stab move and Air Slash, he is going to opt to switch out. I'm just going to go for the Toxic, like I said, because he doesn't have anything already statused. So I am predicting a switch rather than just going for the Air Slash, which is going to work out well for me. I definitely am glad to have continuous damage on this Gardevoir, since yeah, his only form of recovery is going to be Wish, which takes multiple turns, which means the Toxic Poison can stack up. So he's going to go for Wish, probably going to try to switch out on the following turn to pass it into whomever he wants to go into. I'm going to use this opportunity to go for a Heal Bell. He's actually going to make a smart play and stay in, just go for a Thunder Wave in case I either double switch, and because he said he wanted to Encore me into whatever status move I use this turn, but since I hadn't attacked yet, he obviously can't Encore nothing, so he just received the Wish on himself, so that way his Gardevoir will be at a healthy recovery. So that was actually a very smart play. And now he's going to predict the Toxic and go into his Vileplume, which is a good play. Not sure why he didn't bring it in earlier. Probably because he didn't want to set up too early, because this Vileplume does pack the Sunny Day. And I did consider that an option. We were actually talking on Skype throughout this battle, and I mentioned, oh, it's probably going to be a Sunny Day Vileplume for his Typhlosion. So unfortunately for him, or unfortunately for me, I'm going to get finished off with a Solar Beam. I thought this would be a bulky Vileplume with Sunny Day. It's actually going to be a Life Orb, like sweeping Vileplume with Sunny Day. So wow, that was actually really surprising and caught me off guard, and it's going to cost me my main check to his Poliwrath. So I'm going to predict a switch into Typhlosion and go for Hidden Power Water, which was actually probably pretty stupid because in the sun, Flamethrower is going to wreck, pretty much anything, and if he had gone to Poliwrath, he could have gotten Water Absorb, so That was actually a pretty bad play on my part. Just going to go for Stab, Flamethrower in the Sun, and it's going to do a good hefty chunk. Remember that this is an expert belt Magmortar. He definitely thought I was Choice Scarfed, because, yeah, that's what this set does. It's very good at bluffing the Scarf. So now he's going to switch into his Poliwrath, which is still going to take a decent chunk from the Flamethrower, just because Stab plus in the Sun and all that kind of stuff. It's going to do maybe a third, but unfortunately for me, he did pass the Wish. The good thing now is that his Gardevoir is nothing more than Death Fodder, and it's really good to be able to get rid of his other wall. So I'm just going to stay in and go for a safe Thunderbolt while he predicts a switch and goes for Hypnosis. Unfortunately for me, the Hypnosis is going to hit despite the 67% accuracy or something like that. And I'm going to switch out since I do have a Heal Beller. But I go to my Mr.PoPo, predicting the Water type attack, and that is what he does. Unfortunately for me, he's Adamant max attack. After I saw Hypnosis, I thought he would be some sort of like bulkier set. So I thought I could take that much better than I did. And yeah, like I said, unfortunately that's not going to be the case. I thought it'd be a good opportunity to get a Dragon Dance up. But unfortunately, like I said, that's not going to be the case. So he's going to bring in this Sneasel, or whatever, and he's just going to finish me off with a punishment. Obviously, he's Choice Scarfed since he did outspeed my... Actually, no, I switched out with Espeon, so maybe he isn't Scarfed. But I'm going to bring in my Ivankov under the assumption that he is Scarfed, and just go for a safe Earth Power to do some damage, and he's going to choose that moment to Death Fodder his Gardevoir, which is a pretty good play since his other Pokemon Typhlosion that he wants to bring in is going to be weak to the ground type attack, and Vileplume, if I had gone for the Ice Beam, I don't know why I would, since it wouldn't do as much damage to Sneasel as Earth Power, but if I had predicted a switch to Vileplume, it could have 2-hit KO'd it. So he's going to bring in his Vileplume now and opt to go for the Sunny Day to set up for his Typhlosion for hopefully a late game sweep. And I'm just going to 2-hit KO him with Ice Beam, which is going to be pretty good for me since I don't really need my Nidoqueen at this point anyway, since Typhlosion can easily wreck me. So yeah, I'm going to get my Black Sludge recovery and all that kind of stuff. This is the first battle that you guys see with Black Sludge. Thanks for mentioning that. Some people still think I should go with Leftovers. I don't know, I'll have to think about it some more. So he's going to bring in his Typhlosion, just go for an Eruption. Thankfully for me, it's not going to be max damage, since he did take damage from the rocks, but it is easily going to finish off my Nidoqueen. I don't see Life Orb, I don't see Leftovers. I'm thinking Choice Scarf, since he's a lead. So I go into my Lights Out. I'm just going to go for a Protect to stall out the Sun one turn and to get a little Lefties recovery, which thankfully I'm not going to get paralyzed. And it's winding down here. It's 2-2. My Magmortar's asleep. Pretty much the game comes down to, can I get a Wish, and then I know the Sun will wear out, and then get a Heal Bell off without getting paralyzed or without him getting a crit. So I'm going to go for a Wish. The Sun's going to fade, which means that his next Eruption is not going to be able to kill me without a crit. So I'm just hoping I don't get paralyzed and hoping he doesn't get a crit. And unfortunately for me on this turn, he is going to get a critical hit, which means I'm not going to be able to receive my Wish. I'm not going to get off my Heal Bell, which would have woken up my Magnemortar. And it's not going to let me Toxic Stall this Typhlosion and hopefully finish off his Sneasel with Magmortar. So he is going to be able to take me out with 2 Eruptions, and I'm not going to be able to get the first turn Wake or whatever it was. So, good game, BlameTruth. Make sure to check him out. Link in the description. It was a fun battle. Really like using this NU team. And yeah, if you guys have any comments, feel free to leave them below. Thumbs up if you like the video. It helps me out and all that kind of cool stuff. And that's about it for today, so I'll catch you guys later. Peace.